everyone, and welcome to another viewer game analysis. Today we are looking at DeadlyQueenMaria in the EUNE server, and he is currently sitting at, or she, I don't know. It's in Germany. Maria is a woman's name, but I don't know. I will just assume it's a he because of probability. So he is currently sitting in silver, and he requested a number of times that I review one of the games. So today is the day, and first of all, we already see some very silver-esque things in this game. We see a Zyra with Ancient Coin. That's obviously bad, but I mean, you cannot influence your support. All you can do is influence your own play. And it is Misfortune Zyra against Tristana Pike. By the way, I know you requested some games that I shall watch, but they were too old. They are no longer in your match history, and so I cannot see them. So I just picked the most recent solo queue game I could find. And this happens to be this one, but I think we can still learn something from this. So first of all, yeah, your Zyra is not optimal. You see that right from the right from the go that she is apparently new to Zyra or to support or whatever. So you cannot expect too much from her. Obviously, let's look at this situation again because I was too busy talking. Let's see how it happened. So you woke up very far. Yeah, you woke up way too far. You have to stay against hook champions, and Pike is one of them. Against hook supports, you have to stay behind your minions, so you cannot get hooked. You must never get hooked. It's always a huge mistake to get hooked, because even in that situation, if the jungler goes for level 2, I know it's unlikely in this situation because you are blue side, but if the jungler goes for a level 2 gank, and you get hooked level 1, you're instantly dead. And even as it is, you lost almost half your health, so it's definitely not worth it. And another thing I want to talk about real quick is your rune page. So you go for Arcane Comet, which is fine, obviously. Arcane Comet, Mana Flow Band, Transcendence, which is iffy at best, and Scorch with so much going on in these games, with a Triumph and I think Coup de Grace. I think it was Coup de Grace. Okay, let's first watch this fight, and then we'll look at this fight. And then I will talk about your rune page a little bit more. You started Q level 1 and got E level 2. Yeah, so Zyra gets hooked, and it's nice that you focus the AD carry. It's important. Yeah, but now you're over chasing the Tristana. There's no chance. Look at the situation again, because this is important. There's no chance you can chase the Tristana into her tower. So Zyra gets hooked. And now the important part is, you want to keep your Zyra alive. So what do? You try to remove the enemy damage source. And their main damage source, obviously minions are attacking, which is bad. But you cannot do much about this. But you can attack the Tristana, which you do, which is very good. And now the Tristana decides to back off. The Pike, however, still chases. There is no way you can kill the Tristana or chase her under her turret. So now your #1 priority is, again, it's still to keep the Zyra alive, but now you don't need to fend off the Tristana because you already did that. You need to chase back towards your minions. They protect you as well, remember, and focus the Pike. So he doesn't have a field day with the Zyra, which is pretty much what could have happened. Yeah, Zyra survives. Yeah, but you should still not 1v1 the Pike. He's way too much HP. Cost you a flash there. You should have just ran immediately. Yeah, you cannot 1v1 the Pike when your minions are so far away. And also the Sejuani with the gank. Well, that was unfortunate. Okay, let's talk about runes. So, Arcane Comet is obviously amazing, especially with Emax. However, you did, but oh goodness. Okay, how? We will talk about runes when you respawn. But let's first look at this. Get a bounce, which is nice. However, you still did not respect the Pike's range. You should have kept running. Casting your ability stops you for a moment, which makes it easier for the Pike to hit you. You have no flash because of early, and then you just die, yeah. So, don't get hooked. Never get hooked. That's the #1 priority in this lane for you. And if your Zyra gets hooked, you can try to bail her out, but I wouldn't overcommit for it. Just stay alive as long as possible. Okay, so You do get a longsword, which is fine. So you've started Doran's... let's first talk about runes. Okay, so first of all, Transcendence is, in most cases, a trap for duo laners, because the rune does absolutely nothing until you reach level 10. And when you have a solo lane and get a solo XP, that's about the 13-ish minute mark when you reach level 10. So then the rune comes online, and it obviously opens up a lot of build paths for you later on, which is nice. But in a duo lane, you typically don't reach level... When everything goes well, very well, you reach level 10 at about 17 minutes, but most of the time it will be 20-ish minutes until you reach level 10, so you're basically picking a rune that does nothing for you for the first 20 minutes into the game. And you're, well, obviously an early game focused AD carry, so if you want to play optimally, if you want the best chances of winning, you should not pick Transcendence. Pick Absolute Focus instead. It's way better. And Scorch is a tricky one, because Scorch can be good. However, Misfortune is very hungry for attack damage because her base AD is so low. And if you cannot close out the game very, very early, if you don't have a very early focused team comp, then I would not suggest you go for Scorch. Because, well, I experimented with it in high-ish elo, in Diamond elo, and it was okay, but still, if the game went longer than 20 minutes, so if it wasn't decided by the 20-minute mark, I felt very, very weak. And I came to the conclusion that Gathering Storm is stronger in Diamond elo, and it's definitely stronger in Silver elo, because games tend to go a lot longer, since people usually make a lot of macro mistakes, and therefore don't close out games that quickly. So, more fighting. Oh well. And, well, Triumph and Coup de Grace are okay if you... Nice, focusing the Tristana. Don't overchase into the minions, that's good. That's fine. Oh, no. When you attack them, the minions will focus you. See that kind of minion? Just battering you? Yeah, you lose so much HP from the minions. You need to respect minion aggro as in the early game, because they do so much damage. You don't have that much health, but they have relatively high attack damage, and especially... considering their numbers. Oh, you need to turn immediately. As soon as you see the jungler, you never want an enemy to be behind you, so you always need to retreat. You're the AD carry. You cannot frontline. You never want to get flanked. And yeah, you're reacting too late there, and you die for it. And I think you're both sitting on 2 wards as well. You should have warded the Tribush at least, and when you push up farther, you ward this bush as well. Yeah, okay, so Triumph and Coup de Grace. Triumph and Coup de Grace are nice. They do, however, come at a cost, and the cost is that you are not in the domination tree and do not have Ultimate Hunter, which pretty much forces you to go for a 40% CDR build, which, well, would kind of justify Transcendence, but Transcendence is such a bad rune because it does nothing for 20 minutes, and you cannot afford to do that. So you pretty much have to go for Ghostblade, Duskblade, and Black Cleaver if you don't have Ultimate Hunter, because you really need your ultimate cooldown to be rather low. If you go for a lethality build, which is what you do, obviously. So I would advise you to do that. And I think you're Q-maxing, right? Let's see. Yeah, you're Q-maxing. Okay. So when you're Q-maxing, it's alright to... Well, Doran's Blade is fine if you're Q-maxing. However, I would suggest you to start E-maxing and picking up a... What kind of minion? Oh, goodness. So I would advise you to start E-maxing and picking up a Corrupting Potion, because it's so much stronger. E is a ridiculously strong spell, and I see some people, especially on the Misfortune subreddit, argue you need to work on your CSing. This is free CS, you cannot miss any of those. I know it happens, but just pointing out. Okay, so a lot of people argue, especially on the Misfortune subreddit, that Emax would be so much less damage than Qmax, yada yada, but this is actually not even true. I mean, very nice that you retreated there, respecting the invisibility, and I think you missed your back. Oh no, you're fine. 300 gold in your inventory, that's fine, but Tristana has a BF sword, so you need to respect her. So people argue that Qmax would be more damage, which is just simply false. Q has 20 extra damage per rank. E has an extra 35 damage per rank, and the slow increases 8% per rank, which allows you to get more autos in and more Qs when you slow them. And especially the irony is you will get more Q crits with Emax because the E spell prepares the backline for Q to kill the minion and then to crit the carry or whoever's running away from you. So Emax is definitely superior, but if you're confident with Qmax, then sure, go for it. It does still work a little bit. And again, you got hooked. Let's have another look. Dying a lot in this lane. Yeah, but pressing tab at level 1 and seeing the Zyra's items should already tell you that she's no good and you need to take care of yourself. Yeah, oh, that was unfortunate. It's very difficult to play around the Pyke invisibility. The way I handle it is, for example, when I play against a Twitch and he is not visible for me on the minimap or on my screen, then I have to assume, or at least I try to assume, that he is invisible right next to me with a Lulu buff on him. Because that's usually what happens. He's with an enchanter support who buffs him up and he's invisible next to you and he engages on you. Yeah. Same applies to Pyke. You have to assume he's coming for you. So, especially now, since you're behind in this lane, you need to try to not pick fights. And then you should be good to go. Then you can catch back up. Because you're right now also 15 farm behind, which is another kill basically. So try to get your minions and you should be good to go. Zyra getting hooked again. When in doubt, let her die. Let her die, let her die, let her die. Okay, now you die as well. Yeah. You should have let her die. You know when to... This is also an important skill. You know when you should cut your losses. And, well, you saw the Zyra was caught out, and she got hooked and stunned, so she was dead no matter what. You could not save her. And you, by you going in, yes, it might seem heroic to try to save her, but ultimately you just got yourself killed. And since, well, the only thing you can influence in your solo queue games is yourself, and when your support is useless, you have to admit that. You have to, well, take a deep breath and tell yourself, okay, bad luck happens. Next game the enemy might get the bad support, but don't die for them. It's not worth it. Well, that's Serrated Dirk, double longsword, which is fine. This Eye of Ascension on Zyra is it's almost a war crime, really. Oh well. Look at the skill order. Yes, still Q-maxing. It's fine, as I've said. E, again, is a ridiculously strong spell, the only downside being that it costs a lot of mana, because it's 80 mana at all ranks, which is a plus if you max it, because the mana cost will not increase, but if you don't have the proper mana sustain, you cannot afford it. Simple as that. Oh, don't die for her. And I think you still... Oh, you got the Pyke. That's nice. Yeah, your ult combo is obviously very good, but again, I'm not too sure if it's worth dying for it. Maybe it is worth. Generally speaking, if you trade 0 for 1, so the enemy gets 1 kill on you and you don't get anything, that's worse than trading 1 for 2. So you get 1 kill, enemy gets 2 kills. That's better for you. So I think this was fine. Yeah, this was actually fine. Unlucky that Zyra got the shutdown there and not you. Yeah, but when you're behind like this, misfortune is very good from well, when you are put behind in lane, because what you can do is, well, this applies to Emax mostly, because E is a crazy good utility spell too. So you can't stay very far back and just look for E plus R combo opportunities and carry the game that way. You don't need to get fed in the lane phase to be useful when you're Emaxing. With Qmax it's a little bit more difficult because well, you don't really have any utility. All you have is damage. Missing way too many of these minions. I will just go over the sequencing there, because, well, to me it's straightforward, but to some of you it might not be. So what you do right there, you see this minion is out of tower kill range. You can tank them for a little bit. You can one-shot this one-shot this one, and one-shot this one, all with auto attacks. Then you drag them under the turret. Let the turret attack this once. In the meantime, you attack this twice. Kill it, and when the turret sets up its second attack against this minion, you auto it and it dies, so you get all 5 of these easily. However, you drag them all under tower. Tower takes this one. You auto attack this one, you cannot kill. Tower takes this one, you could have killed. You could have reacted to the tower's aim. Tower takes this one, you could have killed. You kill this one, now you kill this one, tower takes another one of you. So this is just small optimizations, but farm is if you're in silver, farm will get you to gold easily. If you can farm like a champ, if you practice your CSing skills, if you don't miss random minions like this one, for example, you will grow. You will get promoted to gold sooner or later, just because you have more gold and more items than your enemies. Because in silver, it's very typical of silver players that they cannot farm. And if you fix this, you will already get to gold easily. Alright, nice gank though. Nice gank. You got a kill on the pike. And now you should be pushing. You should be punishing the fact that Tristana is alone. So you should kill the backline ASAP. And you can do this with W and Q. You have almost full mana, which is quite unnecessary. So what you should do is you should shove this under turret. Because Tristana, again, cannot farm under turret. It's because of her explosive shots. Oh, that hurts so much. Really, you need to improve your farm. Then you will hit golds very, very quickly. This is actually what carried me into platinum. It might even carry you into platinum if you farm very, very well. When I first started playing again after my break, oh goodness, that might be good. Just focus at Tristana. Okay. Ooh, in tower range, you should still get him. Oh, Tristana's so dead. Nice. Yeah. Silver players make a lot of mistakes, and you can punish that easily. Very, very well played. I don't think Zyra needed to die there necessarily, but oh well, you cannot influence what she does, but you can influence what you do. And nice punish. You killed them both. They should definitely go back there. So yeah, when I started playing again, I played from pre-season 1 to early season 3. Then I had a break until late season 6. Then I started again, and I hit platinum simply because of my farm. I wasn't very good right from the get-go because of my long break, and the meta had changed dramatically. But well, I still knew the mechanics of the game. I still knew farm was important, and I knew how to farm very well, and that alone carried me to platinum. So farming will easily carry you to gold, even if you lack in other aspects. Just farm. It's so much gold. You are at 15 minutes into the game. Let's just pretend you had farmed to 120 CS in 15 minutes, which is manageable. And at 150 CS would be perfect, 120 definitely manageable. Let's say 110 with 4 deaths, 110 CS. Then you would have, wait, this is plus 25, you would basically have the equivalent of more than 2 kills worth of gold extra in your pocket. And you can easily try to improve your farming by just going into a practice game, or into what are they called? Practice tool game, and just try to CS for a while without getting levels, without getting items. So it's as difficult as possible, and just with your W spells, so you get the timings down. That should help you a lot already. Well, so basic, yeah, mechanics, pretty much. It's not even about macro play yet. Obviously macro play is nice, but small optimizations, such as rune page optimization. Your items are good. Well, as I've talked about skill order again, but most people are so used to Qmax that it's very hard for them to wrap their heads around Emax. So you can even stay with Qmax right now if you want to, but if you can optimize your rune page and improve your farming, this will help you greatly already. And obviously don't die for autofilled supports. It's not worth it. What is she building? Hextech Revolver plus 2 amp tones. What's this? Is this the one frost thing item that shoots these frost spears? I'm not sure. I never play mid lane. I don't know much about mid lane items, but yeah, this Zyra is terrible. Unlucky you. Unlucky you very much. And the enemy has 2 Infernals, which is huge. I don't really think you can come back from this. You're deciding to go bootless. I'm not a fan of bootless, because you get punished quite quickly for your mistakes in positioning. And AD carry positioning is one of the most difficult aspects of this entire game. So boots will help you, especially in silver. I know MDeal goes bootless all the time, but Normally he has a pre-made support who is also very good and who can protect him, the Rakan, most of the time. And obviously he knows the in and outs of his character. He is a challenger tier player, and he knows how to position as an AD carry very well. So you can do it, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't necessarily advise you to do it, especially in lower ranks. Especially when, well, also MDeal goes, yeah, you're pretty much inspired by MDeal, I guess, which is fine. But again, this is his setup is very specific and also geared towards his pre-made Rakan support. So especially when going no boots, I highly recommend going Ghostblade first, so you have the passive first for better rotations, and the active as a pseudo boots effect in teamfights. Yeah, now they're probably taking Rift Herald, but nothing you can do really. When you're behind like this, you cannot really set up your own plays. You have to try to, well, your support would optimally try to establish vision in your own jungle and de-ward the enemy vision, because that's what stops you from losing more. And then you have to react to what the enemy is doing and try to punish a potential mistake they're making. Because you can't really pressure them yourselves, because they're just weaker. You have to wait for them to overcommit and then punish that. So you're pushed very far out, you have no vision in the jungle. This is very risky. Okay, now you see at least 3 of them on the map, but still Sejuani, she could have invaded your jungle easily that route and flank you right there, with them pushing up towards you. Yeah, so pretty far pushed up for no reason, pretty much. Yeah. Well, the problem is again... Ah yeah, that's the item I meant, the Hextech GLP. The problem is again that you don't have vision in your jungle. You should also buy control wards, especially when you're behind like this, so you can at least, well, nice spots to put control wards, we will look at this in a second, is this bush, a control ward there is very nice because you see them invading here and you also see if they ward up this bush. And here it's not so important. Over the dragon pit might also be nice if you're strong enough to contest the dragon. You put a control ward over the wall here. You might even, if you have skill shots, try to punish them if they try to clear it. It's very hard to clear it in the back here when you are pressing forward. But you might also place a control ward here if you're attempting a steal, and a normal ward here if they don't control ward it up, so they cannot see you if they ward over the wall. Other good places is this one, another jungle entrance, so they cannot just invade you for free. Because as soon as mid tower is gone, it's so easy to just invade over the mid lane or into the jungle. So here is also a nice spot, here is a nice spot, and this is also a nice control ward spot. If this tower goes down, this is a very important control ward spot as well. And obviously, if you have a little bit of lane pressure, or a map pressure rather, laning phase is over, you can control ward the Baron pit here. You don't even have to attempt a Baron, you just have to place the control ward here. It will put so much pressure on the enemy team. But that's probably a case for another game. Let's see what happens here. First of all, let's rewind, so we see how the fight develops. Yeah, taking poke from the Syndra. So this is also one of the golden rules as an AD carry in the mid game. Stay away from the enemy mid laner. Just stay away. They have level advantage on you. And oh, by the way, almost minute 20, you're level 9. Transcendence did nothing for you so far. So yeah, the enemy mid laner has very high burst damage typically because they're a caster most of the time, and they do have level advantage on you, so you should never get close to them in the mid game. And taking free damage from the Syndra is just unnecessary. Okay, so Lux gets hooked. So this is the direct initiation, and unfortunate. It looked like Tristana might get rooted by the Zyra. Did not happen though. Oh, nice. Just keep autoing with W. I need to retreat. You cannot kill the Sejuani. And you know the Tristana is coming. Yeah, that was you wanting too much. Let's see this on the question mark pings. Yeah, this is typical silver for you. The flame. Not that the flame will ever stop in high elo. Just doesn't happen. Okay, he goes down. There's no chance you can beat the Sejuani. She has how many? Like 2,000 health still left in her health pool. you should just run away. You should keep your distance. She will 1v1 you. She also has 2 levels on you. And, you know, the enemy is in the bush here. And you still walk up forward for the another auto and another spell. Yeah, that's certain death for you, especially without boots. You should have just started running. Activate your Ghost Blade if you don't have boots, and just run towards safety so you don't die unnecessarily. It is unfortunate that your support is not attempting to ward anything, but I mean, you cannot really do much besides warding yourself. So yeah, I just told you some nice control ward spots. You just need to buy them, and you will be able to afford them if you farm a little bit better. And even if not, it's just 75 gold. It's very much worth it. Alright, so now you could hope that they mess up at Baron. They do have 2 Infernals and a Mountain, so Baron will just melt. But you can still try to establish vision. Maybe put a ward. You also have a trinket, right? You could put a ward there and there. So you have vision on the river. You see them starting Baron, because typically from their side they would put a control ward right behind Baron, optimally, because that covers the whole Baron pit, and also it's the hardest for you to clear because you have to walk into the Baron pit to attack it. So it is unlikely that they could also put an extra control ward here to cover the river, but you could still try to establish vision and catch them at Baron. However, Warwick is just split pushing and Garen is not doing his job and mirroring him, which is a problem. It looks like you're about to fight over nothing, but I still want to see the fights. So again, there's no objective nearby, there's no reason to fight here. However, Yorick, in the meantime, is taking objectives, so you should be spam pinging this turret so your teammates are aware of what's happening, and if you're lucky they will go and stop him, but we'll see. So Lux flashes, and probably she dies. Yeah, she's just dead. Or is she? Ooh, nice blast cone. Blind ulti. Yeah, cute idea, but you get the Syndra in the end. But what did you really get? You got a kill on the Syndra, you get no objective afterwards. Yorick in the meantime gets your inhibitor. So this fight was completely unnecessary. Yes, you got a kill. Yes, some summoner spells were blown, but you didn't accomplish anything towards winning the game. You rather accomplished something towards losing the game, which is losing your inhibitor for free. For no reason. You still had time to respond to this. Instead you chased into the jungle, trying to get a pick, when no objective was nearby or contested. Well, there was an objective contested, which is your inhibitor, which is what you should have responded to. And this is where it gets troublesome, because if your bot inhibitor is down, that means that you will have to draw attention towards bot lane to answer the super minions. And red team can use this to get Baron for free. But this works for both teams, obviously. If blue team gets this inhibitor, red team will have to answer here, and blue team gets Baron for free. So whoever gets enemy bot inhibitor will get Baron afterwards if they play it correctly. Because you can just start Baron, and the enemy needs to be there with 5 man. To contest it, and if they do that, the super minions will just take their base turrets. If they draw attention to the super minions to defend their base, then you outnumber them, and then you get Baron for free. So that's the theory behind it. Okay, now you could fight over a dragon maybe, but you're pretty far behind. You shouldn't start it. You should definitely not start. Oh, please, Garen. You cannot afford to do that, really. And they might just counter Baron you, maybe even. Well, Sejuani is their jungler and she's there, so probably no counter Baron. It even worked, oh my god. Okay, fair enough, but now you definitely need to respond to the pressure here, which is their window of opportunity. Well, their jungler is down, so had the Sejuani not done something stupid, but this is again what happens in Silver. This is what allows you to get back into the game. In theory, they would have taken Baron already, but since they are also Silver players, you can just punish their mistakes, and if they don't take Baron right now, that's a huge mistake on their part. As soon as this inhibitor respawns, their entire advantage is gone. It's all about punishing mistakes, seeing opportunities. Let's look at item builds. Okay, now you have Ghostblade, Dustblade, and work towards... Yeah, this is very much MDL's build, which is fine, again. But it's tough sometimes to play without boots, so you might give boots another try. You might do that. Yorick in the meantime. And Tristana, oh god. You need to hard engage now, as long as the tower is still alive. And the super minions are far enough away that you do have a little bit of breathing room to help top lane. Or mid lane for that matter. Because the enemy is just brute forcing the way through their way through your base. Which you can't punish. You cannot punish them taking Baron with your bot inhibitor down, but you can punish them brute forcing through the turrets by just hard engaging from them while they are attacking a turret. Attacking a turret is pretty much as risky as starting a dragon out of nowhere. Nice ulti. Nice combo with the Zyra. Need to kite backwards. Okay. Yeah, Yi was reacting too late there. Damn. This turret. You need to draw attention. Yeah. Okay, so you're technically still in this, but yeah, your team took too long, and you could have lived in this fight. With a lethality build, after your ulti and your first auto, so your love tap, your damage is not that great. So you could have just walked backwards, tried to kite with your E if you had maxed it. But you see, I'm a big fan of E max. Yeah, but you should have just retreated. It's better than just dying for free. Maybe, even if they still kill you, they might still commit more resources towards chasing you, and might take a few tower shots here and there. So it would have definitely been better. Bot inhibitor's still down. They still might attempt Baron now, but you got some nice shutdowns, or your team rather. And G is very late game hyper carry-ish. Zyra does her thing. Alright. Yeah, she's dead. Unlucky, man. Again, you cannot influence that, but you can influence your own play. And now Luxus. Yeah, this is pretty much game over. You are now 3 versus 5. Had you stomped your lane and got fed in lane and carried that way, then maybe this game was possible to win. But you would have pretty much... You needed to lane 1v2 because you couldn't rely on the Zyra at all. And... Yeah, I think it's... This game wasn't... Well, for a silver player, this game was an auto loss. Even if you had farmed better, it was still a loss. But this is... I think the key takeaways are still... farm will win you more games in the long run. And this is a very, this is also something very easy to fix. You can practice a little bit every day before you go into a game, and you will see results immediately. You will have more gold, more items, and win more fights and win more games that way. So optimize your farm, optimize your rune page, and maybe buy boots. Again, it's up to you pretty much. Or at least if you still don't want to buy boots, please buy Ghostblade first. And apart from that, well, Emax would be nice, but it's nothing necessary at silver elo. It is very oppressive though, so if you get comfortable with Emax, you will just win lanes for free, especially with a double poke lane such as Zyra Misfortune. But yeah, I hope you learned something from this. I hope this helped you, even though this game was rather one-sided. I hope I still pointed out things that are useful to you. And for more Misfortune content, you see some videos on the screen right now, and you can subscribe for future videos. But yeah, that's all I have for today, and I hope to see you tomorrow, and you have a nice evening. Bye!